What's up, guys? Courtney Cox here in the PNC Bank Sports Corner, talking with my dear friend Zach Cox. Let's talk about trade deadline to kick things off. Isaiah Ford was the real big push for the Pats, trade with Miami. They sent a sixth conditional round draft pick for the 2022 draft. Do you think that this was a good move for the Pats?
Yeah, that conditional 2022 sixth round pick is basically nothing. If Isaiah Ford does not pan out with the Patriots, you've got to imagine that'll probably drop to a seventh round pick in that draft, which is, like I said, essentially nothing. I think this was a smart move for the Patriots. It's not a move that's really going to grab many headlines and probably won't have a significant impact on their offense this season, but it's a position of need. They were so just thin and light at the receiver position, even before these injuries that they've had in the last couple of weeks to Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry. Isaiah Ford, according to all the scouting reports, he's a smart guy. He's a versatile guy, knows what he's doing out there, which is important for a player who's going to be picking up this offense mid-season. I think he'll help. Excuse me. I think he'll help the Patriots this season. And like I said, he was basically free, so you can't really go wrong there.
When you look at his stats just quickly, something that jumps out to anybody who's trying to look up this new guy, he's been with Miami since 2018. He has 0 career touchdowns. Does that worry you at all?
I don't think this is a player that the Patriots are going to be looking at to be a number one receiver or anything like that. I think he's just a guy that they need some experience just to fill out that group, a guy that they can throw out there and they can trust. Also, Isaiah Ford played under a lot of former Patriots assistants down there in Miami, so I have to imagine that Bill Belichick got a positive review on this guy before they brought him in. So we'll see what we see from him. He's not going to be able to get on the field for another week. You probably won't see him in this Monday night game against the Jets just because he has to go through all of these COVID testing protocols, as does Isaiah Mack, the defensive tackle they claimed off waivers. So it'll be probably 2 weeks before we get to see these guys in a game, but I do think they'll both be able to help the Patriots.
Well, you brought up N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman, who both are dealing with some injuries. For you, heading into practices, obviously, they're practicing Saturday because the Patriots do not play until Monday when they take on the Jets. Do you expect to see either of those guys in practice?
Well, it'll be a little while before we see Edelman back out on the field. He's on injured reserve now, so he needs to miss at least 2 more games. Judging by the comments Bill Belichick had last week, it could be significantly longer than that. N'Keal Harry, we don't know. He's in concussion protocol. Suffered that injury against the 49ers, did not play against the Buffalo Bills. We'll see if he's ready to be back on the field once practice starts on Thursday. Also, a couple other injury situations we're going to be monitoring. Lawrence Guy left this game against the Bills with a shoulder injury. Jawan Bentley left it with a groin injury. Those are 2 defensive starters for the Patriots, so those would be some pretty significant pieces to have to replace on that defense. Also, Sony Michel, now eligible to come back from injured reserve. He was on the reserve COVID-19 list as well, activated off of that. We'll see if he's back at practice this week. I think he'll have a tough time unseating Damian Harris at this point with how well Harris has played in these last couple of weeks, but we'll see if he gets back into that mix this week.